Hello, Miles here from Tech Silver. Today we're going to be doing a full review and unboxing of the Tranquil GPS watch, giving you ultimate peace of mind and your loved ones safety and independence to help them live at home for as long as possible. So let's dive into what makes this different and better than other products in the market. The battery life will last around 7 days versus a normal 12 to 24 hours from other devices. It's fully waterproof, and that means it can be worn in the shower or the bath without any worries of it being water damaged. The design is slim, sleek and elegant, meaning your loved one is much more likely to want to wear it, and it's more likely to blend into their day-to-day outfits. And you can get alerts via phone call rather than just by email or app. So it means you're much more likely to receive them in an emergency. And finally, you have an optional locking strap. So this means if you choose to buy it, it cannot be removed from their wrist, and they're much more likely to not lose it or discard it by accident. So that covers in a minute what kind of makes this better than other products. And now we're going to dive into each one of those features and some more one by one. So what do you get in the box? Well, of course, you get the Tranquil Watch itself. You get a charging hub, which is really easy to just slot the watch on to give it more power. You get a charging cable, a block to plug into the wall to charge it, and there is an optional locking strap that you can choose to add to the basket to enable you to secure it to your loved one's wrist. And then finally, you get a Bluetooth mini beacon to extend the range around the house. So now let's talk about the Tranquil Watch's battery life. But before we dive into that too much, let's talk about why battery life is important. Well, in this area of products, so GPS trackers or medical alert devices, the average battery life is around 12 to 24 hours. Now this can cause some real difficulties for carers. Imagine if you have to rely upon your elderly loved one with dementia to remember to charge the device. That could be quite unlikely. Or even if they're not doing it, it means a carer, a family member, or maybe yourself has to go around every single day, sometimes maybe more than once a day, to go and charge the device. Unfortunately, this often means that a lot of devices in this space, you have the highest intent for how good they are, but they end up just collecting dust in a drawer because they're too difficult to remember to charge every single day. So I would also be cautious of other devices that advertise more than a 24-hour battery life. And that is because they need to update their location regularly, right? If your loved one goes missing and it's only updating every hour, you could be waiting a long time, an agonizingly long time, before you get an update as to where they are. Whereas the Tranquil Watch can update every 30 seconds if your loved one goes missing. So the Tranquil Watch will last around 7 days versus, as I said, 12 to 24 hours. So it's about 7 to 14 times longer than other devices on the market. And how does it do that, you might ask? Well, the Tranquil Watch is the only product in the United States which uses a special low power network technology to ensure that you get all the features you need, but it's using much less battery whilst doing so. It's really important to remember that battery life is not just about the product itself, but it's about the difference between whether you have a usable, reliable product or something that you are constantly being anxious about because it's either ran out of power or it's going to run out of power. If your loved one is wearing this day to day, you need to know that when they will need it in any emergency situation, it's going to have the power to be there for you. So that's a reason why the Tranquil Watch's 7-day or at least 7-day battery life really kind of sets it apart from other products in the space. So now let's talk about the Tranquil Watch's design. But why is design important? Well, when it comes to most consumer products we buy every day, whether it be a smartwatch, an iPhone or a car, there's loads of different designs and colors to choose from. But when it comes to medical alert devices or GPS trackers, particularly for elderly loved ones, there's normally only one color or one design to pick from. The problem with that is you need your loved one to want to wear the device. And if it only comes in one color or an ugly design that they don't like, you've lost before you could possibly win because they're just not going to be willing to wear it. The Tranquil Watch, as you can see, comes in, at this time of making this video, 4 different color combinations. So regardless of their style and what they like to wear, you've got something to suit. To add on to this, it's very slim and discreet. So as you can see, it's a lot thinner than many other products, and when it's on your wrist, it really just looks like any normal watch. I actually wear the black one day to day as my daily watch, and no one ever thinks it's anything other than a normal watch. I actually have to tell them for them to know that it's a medical alert device. That's really important for a lot of older people because they don't want something stigmatizing that's going to tell everyone around them that they need help or somehow that they are elderly. So the other area that this really stands out is the clock face itself. So it's got real clock hands in a Swiss watch style. And so unlike other GPS watches on the market that have an LCD screen, this shows the time at all times. They don't need to press a button on the side to show the time, and that's particularly confusing for people with dementia. They don't have a bright, garish screen on at all times. It's going to be frustrating at night time or in dark spaces. And generally, it's just much easier and more familiar for people to use because it just functions like an everyday normal watch. The strap is a real comfortable leather strap. It can be removed or attached, so if you do want to change it for a different strap or a different color, you can do so with a normal watch strap attachment. And this leather strap comes with every single watch, depending which color you go for. So you also have an option to purchase a locking strap with the watch. This is ideal for anyone who has dementia because it's much less likely that they will lose or discard the watch. You can swap it out for the leather strap really easily, and it comes with this key. So as you can see, it's tamper-proof, meaning they can't remove it without pressing down the key and opening it up like so. If you're going to invest in a product like this, it makes sense to not have the worry of them losing it. So I'd recommend grabbing the locking strap if you do go for the Tranquil Watch. Finally then, on the design, we have a really simple charging cradle. This comes with every single watch. You just pop it down, it'll only fit one way, and there's no wires or cables that are confusing or difficult to mess around with. You just rest it on there to charge, and this is ideal for anyone with arthritis or any issues with their hands. It means that your elderly loved one will find it much easier to charge it. It even makes a noise when you pop it on the charger, so you know that it is charging. So now let's talk about the waterproofing of the Tranquil Watch. This is really important for medical alert or GPS tracking devices because you want to know that your loved one can wear it in their day-to-day routine without a concern of it being damaged. The Tranquil Watch is waterproof to IP67, and that means it can be submerged under about up to 3.2 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. In practice, that means it's absolutely fine in the bath or shower, and even okay if they go for a morning dip in the pool. Most of the devices on the market are not waterproof at all, or if they are, they say they're just splash proof, so really they're only okay if you're washing your hands and will be damaged if you get in a shower or bath. You don't have any of those concerns with the Tranquil Watch, so you can give it to your loved one and they can carry on their day-to-day routine without being worried that it will be damaged by any water getting into the device. So that really makes it a very useful feature. So now we're going to talk about the buttons on the Tranquil Watch. Now, there's deliberately not many to keep it as simple as possible. The crown button on the side will bring up the battery life, the date, and the signal level, and the SOS button on the bottom here, when pressed and held, will make a SOS emergency phone call and send a notification to the smartphone app. And we're going to cover a little bit more about that in a moment. So now let's talk about the GPS tracking or locating function of the watch. The location updates every 2 minutes around the clock. So unlike some other medical alert devices which only update their location when the SOS button is pressed, the Tranquil Watch will update every 120 seconds, unless you activate emergency tracking on the app, and that means it'll update its location every 30 seconds, which is particularly useful if they go missing, which means you can be much closer behind them and make sure they are safe a lot quicker. You can track them from the free Tranquil app on your smartphone anywhere in the world with an internet connection, and that's the same for you or any of your loved ones. So it doesn't matter if you're on vacation in Europe, maybe you're in Japan or South America, it doesn't matter. Anywhere in the world you have an internet connection, you can go on that app and see where they are and where they were on location history. So let's talk about safe zones and home exit alerts. So safe zones, sometimes known as geofences, allow you to be alerted when the wearer leaves or enters a certain area. Now, safe zones are normally a minimum of around 600 feet, and they are useful particularly if somebody has dementia and they're at risk of going wandering. You can be alerted when they've left that area, perhaps around their house or their neighbourhood, and you can make sure that they are safe. This means you don't have to constantly just be checking the app to make sure they are where they're supposed to be. You can just wait and relax and know that you will get an alert when they've left that area. As I said, you can also be alerted when they've entered a certain area. So this would be useful for something like an area of danger, maybe a freeway, a railroad or a lake, and if they were to go nearby, you can be alerted. You can also use them as there's an unlimited amount of safe zones. You could also be alerted when they get to, say, a place they normally visit. Maybe they go to a certain supermarket, maybe they visit a friend's house, a certain restaurant, it doesn't matter. You can set that within a safe zone, and then maybe you're at work in a meeting and you just want to know that they're following their regular daily routine, and you can get an alert to say, oh, they've entered, for example, the local Walmart that they visit. Now, the alerts can be by phone call, email or app, and that's the same for any alert on the watch, which I'll explain in a moment. But that means that unlike other products, you can get a phone call to let you know that they have left the home, which is obviously much better than a notification on your phone, which you might miss. So that covers the safe zones. There's also something called home exit alerts or home beacon range exit alarm. This means essentially that the watch connects to this hub that's plugged in at all times via Bluetooth. When that connection is broken, the wireless connection is broken, so they're walking around the home, as soon as they step out the front door, that connection breaks and you can be alerted. What's good about that is with safe zones, as I said, being a minimum of around 600 feet, that can sometimes be quite a long time before you get an alert. The home exit alert means that you can be alerted almost as soon as they step outside the front door. So if they have late stage dementia or they are at a really big risk very soon after exiting where they live, you can be alerted much sooner and make sure they get that help in those crucial moments after they leave the property. So the safe zones and these home exit alerts really are a fantastically useful feature that gives your loved one increased safety and makes the Tranquil Watch stand out from other products on the market in the medical alert or the GPS tracker space. So now let's talk about the SOS button and the calling function. So the device has a button on the bottom here, and when that is pressed and held for a few seconds, it can make an emergency call to either family contacts or a medical alert monitoring center, depending on what you select. So they can press and hold that at any time and it will do what I just explained, but you can also call into the watch at any time. The watch has a normal US cell number, so you can call it, and as long as you have US numbers included in your cell plan, it won't cost you anything extra to do so. Not only can you call the watch, but it will automatically answer, or you have an option to turn that on or off from the app actually. So that's really useful for people with dementia who might not remember how to answer. You're trying to call them and you can imagine being really frustrated that you're calling and they're confused about what's going on and they can't answer. Well, it can actually automatically answer. So what will happen is, as long as you're one of the safe family contacts that's added into the app, then it will answer straight away and gives you a chance to call them immediately. If you're not one of those contacts, you can't get through, so that stops any spammers or scammers. But what's really useful about that feature is the ability to talk to them at any time. So imagine they're missing and you have a chance to get hold of them before you're able to make sure they're safe. So let's say your dad lives in Minnesota and you live in Florida. You can see he's missing and you've called the local sheriff or you've called your loved ones to go and get him, but you need to talk to him first, or you'd like to talk to him, you can call the watch, it will automatically answer, and it gives you a chance to just have a calming conversation with him first and say, hey dad, it's me, just wait where you are or stay safe and someone is coming to get you. So that's a really, really useful feature. Another thing that really stands this out from other products is the ability to prove that you're a human when you answer a call. So I'll demonstrate that for you now, but essentially what it does is when you answer a call from the watch, an alert or an SOS call, it makes you press a button on your keypad to prove you're a person. That way the watch knows the difference between a voicemail box and a real person, and if it doesn't get that number pressed on the keypad, it will move on to the next contact and the next and the next until somebody answers. So let me demonstrate the SOS button for you now. They just press and hold it for about 2 seconds.
Starting SOS call.
It tells the wearer that it's starting a call and starts ringing immediately. My number is the first number, so it should start ringing any second. And as you can see, that call is now going to come through. There we go. And if I answer, you'll hear that it makes me press a number to prove I'm a human. So listen out for this.
This is a help request call from user. Press 5 to answer the call.
So I'm going to press 5 to answer the call.
Please wait. The call is connecting.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
And there you go.
There you go.
Obviously there's a bit of feedback there, but you wouldn't normally get that as long as you're not in the same room. And so the two-way calling with a loud, clear speakerphone, you can call into the watch and out from the watch at any time, not only gives you the peace of mind you can get hold of them, but means if they're in an emergency situation and they need help, with a tap of a button, they can get hold of either a 24-hour call center or their loved ones at any time. So let's talk about notifications or alerts from the watch. So you can be alerted in 3 different ways, and that is phone calls, emails, or app notifications. What's great about the phone calls is what I just demonstrated for the SOS button is also applicable for notifications. So for example, you could set it so that when your dad leaves home, you get a phone call, but first of all, it calls you, and then it calls your sister, and then it calls your brother. And if I wasn't to answer, or I didn't press that button on my keypad, it moves to the next one and the next one. So when it's something really urgent that needs an urgent response, you can have that phone call notification. You can, of course, have those go through to a medical alert monitoring center as well. Now, most devices on the market only give you notifications by an app. So if it's something really important, like your loved one is missing, it's very easy to miss them because they just blend in there with things like someone's commented on your Facebook post. So the customization on the Tranquil Watch of being able to decide what you're notified about, who is notified about it, and how they are notified is really useful, and it means that you can really cater it to exactly your loved one's needs. And with everyone being different, and especially dementia affecting everyone differently, this really enables you to wrap it around your loved one and make it work perfectly for you. So the Tranquil app is the central control area for all features of the product. Now, a lot of other products in the medical alert or GPS space mean that you have to use a laptop or a computer to go into a website to set it up or change some settings. Sometimes you have to send an SMS. Now the Tranquil Watch has done away with that and deliberately made it as simple as possible by allowing you to customize and change everything about the product from the app itself. So that includes looking at a map, seeing where they have been, changing and editing safe zones, notifications, and much, much more. It's deliberately really intuitive and easy to use, and it's available for iPhones and also Android devices. Finally, Tranquil provide easy to use setup videos. You can even scan a QR code on the box to find them really easily, and they guide you through every single stage of using the app. So even if you forget how to do something, you can easily find out how to do it within a couple of taps. So why should you buy a Tranquil Watch? Now, I've spent a lot of time really thinking about this summary. My grandfather had a couple of really useful sayings, and one of which was, you get what you pay for. Not saying that's his saying, I'm sure you would have heard that before. And another is, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Now, that's not true in a lot of different sectors now. There's loads of quality in cheap products. But when it comes to medical alert devices or GPS trackers, that just really isn't the case. Tranquil have really created a product that stands well ahead of the others in the market, and you might have to pay a slightly more of a premium for it, but it is well worth its weight in gold as a result. So one of the reasons for that is, let's be honest here, products like this allow your loved ones to remain independent in their own home for as long as possible. What's known as aging in place is really important. From a financial perspective, the average cost of a nursing home in the United States, and that's average, so it can be a lot more than this, is $2,000 a week. So that's over $8,000 a month on a nursing home. No matter how much the Tranquil Watch costs, it will always be cheaper than your loved one being in a nursing home. So obviously there's a saving by going for a product that helps keep them independent, but there's also an emotional or social benefit. Our home is part of who we are, it's part of our identity, and whether it's the pictures on the wall, the memories, the neighbours, the pets, whatever it is, being at home is really something that we value and that we want to hold on to. I don't know about you, I personally don't want to end up in a nursing home, and I'm pretty sure that everyone I've ever asked has said that they don't want to either. So it's really important for our older loved ones that we try and keep them independent at home for as long as possible, and I'm sure it's something that they will really, really value as well. So it saves you money on care, and it's the best product in the market. But why is it the best product? You might say, yeah, but Miles, I can help keep them independent with other products. So other products can do similar things, but they don't do them to anywhere near the same standard. So for example, the battery life lasting a week rather than less than a day means that you can actually rely on the product and not have to charge it every single day and worry about it not being of any use. It being completely waterproof means that they can wear it in the shower, in the bath, in the swimming pool, and not worry about it being damaged. The locking strap, if you decide to buy it, is ideal for anyone with dementia. It means you don't have to worry about them discarding it or losing the product. And the look and feel of the watch means that they're much more likely to want to wear it. It's discreet, and therefore, if they want to wear it, it's much more useful. Finally, the alerts being by phone call and not being by app notification means that you're actually going to receive them, and you know that you'll be notified about the important things. You can make sure you go and help them. So these features really make it stand out head and shoulders above other products on the market. At the moment, they're doing a risk-free trial, so you can buy the watch and you can try it out, and if you don't like it, they'll cover free shipping and send it back. And I really do think that this saying about buying it cheap and buying it twice is really applicable in this section. So maybe we all heed my granddad's advice and give it a go, because it might be the difference between your loved one being safe and independent at home and not. If you're like me and you really care about your elderly loved ones and you want the best for them, sometimes it is worth just going for that slightly better product to give you that peace of mind and give them that independence. So hopefully I've helped you out today and given you a bit more of an insight into the product. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop into the comments section below, and you can ask me or one of our team will respond as best we can. But I'm also going to put a link below to Tranquil's website so they can answer any other questions you have, and obviously you can buy one there as well if you want to. Thank you so much for listening today. I've been Miles from Tech Silver, and I'll see you on the next product review video. Goodbye.